Hello, my name is Sam. I'm from usephotoshop.com, a free tutorial, template, and photo resource. In this video, I'm going to help you understand the brush tool in Adobe Photoshop. I'm running the most current version at this time, Photoshop CS5. If you don't already have a file open, go to File, New to open a new file, or go to File, Open to open an existing file from your hard drive. In this case, I'll create a new file by clicking on New, and we will select the US paper preset, 8.5 by 11 paper at 300 pixels per inch, and press OK. Photoshop will create that page for us, and I will zoom in holding down Control and pressing the plus key on my keyboard. The tool can be found by going to Window, Tools, and opening up the Tools window or the Tools palette. It's located fourth from the top on the right hand side and may be hiding behind the pencil tool, the color replacement tool, or the mixer brush tool. If it is, simply left click and hold down with your mouse on that icon. This menu will appear and you can select the brush tool. The keyboard shortcut is B, meaning if I'm using another tool and I want to use the brush tool, simply by hitting the letter B on my keyboard, I will be taken back to that tool. Let me show you how it works. We can adjust a number of things in the brush tool up here, and we can also expand that into another window to get some more options. But let's stick with the basic ones for now. We can click on the downward arrow up here to display this window with some preset brushes down here and some options up here. Let's change it to a preset with a soft edge, and we can change the hardness down here and the size here. The size is, of course, the size of the brush itself, how big the brush is, and the hardness is how hard the edge of the brush is. For instance, if I have it at 100%, I will get a very hard edge on the brush, meaning the edge of the brush is very sharp. If I bring down the hardness, you will see that the edge of the brush has become very soft. And let's undo that by holding down Control, Alt, and pressing Z on our keyboard. Or we can go to Edit, Undo State Change, or Step backwards. There are a number of other things you can change in the brush tool. We can have a look at some other brushes here. We're given a whole bunch of assorted brushes here. We can get more by clicking on the sideways arrow. And there's a whole bunch of brushes that Photoshop comes with here. We can also load brushes by clicking here. For instance, let's go into the basic brushes and we'll press OK. And we can see that Photoshop has some basic brushes for us. And we can click on those, and we can also change the settings. You can change the mode up here from normal to light into overlay to any of the normal modes that Photoshop layers have. You can control the opacity here, which is the transparency of the brush tool. For instance, that's very solid. The opacity is at 100%, and if I lower that to 60, you will see that what I'm drawing is transparent and you can see through it. And as I lower the opacity, the thickness of the brush gets lower and lower. And we'll undo that by holding down Control, pressing Alt, and Z on our keyboard. We can also change the flow, and let's enable the airbrush tool by clicking on that little icon right there, and I'll show you what flow does. Flow means when you're holding down, the brush tool will behave like a airbrush. For example, if I hold down here, you will see the longer I hold down, the larger the drawing gets. You will see as I keep moving my brush along, the diameter of the tool stays the same, but as I slow down, the diameter increases. And I can bring that down, and as you will see, it looks like there is less paint or less of a flow going through the brush when the flow is reduced. And once again, we'll undo that. There are a bunch of other options which we won't cover in this video that are located in this window here. By clicking on that icon, you can change all kinds of settings about the brush in here and go into much more detailed settings, but we won't look into that in this video. We can of course change the color of the brush, which can be done down here. We can click on the black foreground, and let's make that blue and press OK, and now our brush is blue. We can of course exchange that for the background color and paint with the background color, and of course change the background color. You can also switch between the foreground and the background color by pressing the keyboard shortcut X on your keyboard to switch between the foreground and background layers. You can also go back to the default black in the foreground and white in the backgrounds by clicking on this small icon here, or by pressing D on your keyboard. That's the brush tool in Adobe Photoshop. I'm Sam from usephotoshop.com.